And welcome back. We're here on video again. It's Rhea, it's Angelo. How are you guys?
Hello.
We're rocking some glasses today.
I feel left out. I put on contacts for this podcast. I didn't even get the glasses memo. You guys look
I think we
studiously
need
smart.
glasses. I never saw Rhea with those glasses out there.
No.
They're very cool. I like them.
My wife wore glasses for like 3 months when we first started dating. She got like a prescription, and I was like, "Oh, you got the sexy librarian look. Let's do it. I love it." And they disappeared. And I was like,
Really?
after like 5 or 6 months, I was like, "What happened to your glasses?" And she said, "I decided I didn't need them anymore." Which I don't think you.
Okay.
No. I don't think you could just say like my eyes are fine. Well,
No.
I am back from the cruise, guys, and I just wanted to give you just a little update. My movie did sell to Lifetime, and we have a date.
Yay.
The tentative date, I appreciate it, is going to be May 19th, which is a Saturday, and we are super excited about it. So I'm in the process of doing. You want to talk about technological stuff. You have to upload everything to Lifetime for them to go out. Like, what a great thing they have. All they have to do is they have like a website. You just upload everything and then it goes out on May 19th. But I am not very good at crossing T's and dotting I's. And I'm just like looking through reams and reams of stuff. So we're doing that now, but that's you'll don't feel any pressure to watch it. Rhea and Angelo, I know it's not exactly up to
We're not only going to watch it, we're going to review
Exactly.
probably slam it.
You know what? I totally get it. Once it's sold, I am happy with it. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into it, guys. I watched the second I got back, there were 2 big reboots that happened. And I'm curious as to whether or not you watch the original shows and care at all about the reboots. They both dropped at the same time on Peacock and NBC. There is a brand new Night Court, an update of the late 80s, early 90s sitcom starring, I can never get her name right. It's the little girl, I say little girl, the tiny little woman from Big Bang Theory, not Penny. The cute little girl with the bangs. She's like 4'11". You could put her in your pocket if that's your kink. And then on Netflix, there's the reboot of that 70s show set 20 years later called That 90s Show. And I'm curious, first off, did you guys ever watch the originals, and do you have any interest at all in the reboot?
I watched Night Court in the original, really loved it. Loved it. Watched every episode. Loved Harry Anderson, the late great Harry Anderson. Marsha Wallace was a phenomenal bailiff. Marky Post had phenomenal breasts. He had Richard Mall. Remember him?
Oh,
with the note and John Larroquette. And I watched it and loved it. I did not watch the 70s show, and I can't give you much on the 90s show because I really never got to it. I don't know if you heard there's an NFC championship game in Philadelphia this week.
is that hockey? I think I heard Al talk about
that's football. That's football. But if you want my reaction to the new Night Court, it stinks. It really stinks. I mean, it is. First of all, the woman you're referring to, Melissa Rauch.
There it is.
She is the daughter of the Harry Anderson character. They're trying to make her the same kind of character, but she can't pull it off. She can't be he was goofy and schmaltzy at the same time, which is really hard to do, but he was great at it. This woman is bad. And they must have paid John Larroquette a lot of money because he was a phenomenon in the original, and he is a caricature in the new version. I hate it. I will never watch it. You told us that your 12-year-old really loved it. It is pitched for that level, that age category. Anything over 13, they're too sophisticated to enjoy the stupid humor in this reboot.
One thing I would say just before I get your reaction, Rhea, is just talking about John Larroquette, and Harry Anderson. Two things about them. One, John Larroquette, do you remember he did something extraordinary in the mid 80s during that run on Night Court? He won 3 Emmys in a row for Best Supporting Actor in a sitcom, and he took himself out of the running for the 4th.
Wow.
Don't even nominate me. I want other people to win this. And a lot of people saw it as an arrogant move, like, I'm so good, I'm going to keep winning this. I never saw it as that, just because I like John Larroquette. He was just like, I've won enough, don't even submit me, let other people win, which I thought was pretty cool.
He should do that with this one.
No.
Secondly, the thing about Harry Anderson that you mentioned, in Quentin Tarantino's book that he wrote for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he talks about the sitcom and network system of the 70s, 80s, and 90s in TV that doesn't exist anymore, where you would get signed to a holding deal. And that holding deal would be like, let's try you out in different sitcoms to see how it goes. And if you remember, that was when I was a kid. That was when I first realized that stuff like this happened, because Harry Anderson was my favorite part of Cheers. Do you remember when he was on Cheers?
Oh, wow.
He was a magician, right? He was a
conman, Harry the Hat. He would come in and he would
you're right.
Once or twice a season, he would con Sam, and it would be like a little cold open or something. And then when he showed up at Night Court, it was the first time I was like 11 or 12, and I went, I know that guy. He's Harry the Hat.
Yeah.
He must, NBC must like that guy. Rhea, did you get a chance to see it? What were your thoughts on it? Did you hate it too?
No, I did not. I did not see Night Court, but only for one reason. I tried to I set aside. I did see. I can review 70s and 90s because I love the 70s show, and I did see it. I went to go onto it. I got home actually a little early today because Angelo doesn't work on Wednesday, so there's no meetings. And I got home, and it told me I had to pay for it. Which so I guess I didn't go on Peacock. I was getting it through Prime. Sure. And I refused to pay for it. So because I pay for everything.
You made the right move.
But I can talk if you want me. I love the 70s show. I was a massive fan of it. It was the 70s was a little bit before my time, but I could relate to all those kids and the dynamics. I love them all. So I went on to watch the 90s show, and when they showed Kitty and Red, the parents, I love them. Red is like every parent, every father I ever grew up with, and Kitty was kind of like I love them. So I will. They had cameos by Donna and Eric, who are the parents of the daughter, and they're coming there. I'm going to give it another. I watched the first episode. I was intrigued. Now the 70s show broke all kinds of things. Look at all the actors that came out of it.
Sure,
phenomenal. Really, really good actors. So these kids that are in it now, the girl who plays the daughter, I liked her. I think she's got a real presence on camera.
She does.
So I will absolutely, and I think she's perfectly cast as kind of the goody two shoe. Is like, I want to try to explore myself. I'm the mother of a teenager now, so I get that whole genre. So I did like it, and I was a massive fan of the 70s show. So I will watch another episode.
So what do
you think of them, Jay? What do you feel?
So I actually did not dislike Night Court, and I think it was just because of John Larroquette, a guy who is so much a part of my life. And you're right, he's not great in it because the writing isn't great, but he is still a good actor. And when he shows up, they're playing him kind of a sad sack. His life has been destroyed. There's mention of a wife. We don't know if she's dead or if she left him. He's not the Lothario that he was in the 80s, where he was just the ladies' man. But I think it was just the nostalgia hit. They built the sets exactly, and I don't know if they kept them.
Amazing. Yes.
Both
that
shows,
was true.
Both that 70s show and the Night Court. The nostalgia hit went right into my veins. And for both of them, I liked Night Court a little bit better than I liked that 70s show or that 90s show. But if both of them, I'll tell you this, if they show up on my next cruise instead of another 6 reruns of Big Bang Theory, I'll be happy. Now, speaking of Marky Post, Angela, you mentioned Marky Post and her breast. Did you know
The
that
late
she was?
I think she passed away.
Yeah, she did.
So did her breast.
It was
Mr.
beautiful,
Skin.
beautiful one.
If you know Mr. Skin, he was the website that cataloged everybody's nudity. He referred to Marky Post as his white whale, that he was the most requested nude scene with no nude scenes. Also, Angelo, in that 70 or that 90 show, the mother, Kitty, finds the son's stash of porn magazines from the 70s.
Yes.
And I thought of you because she looks at it and goes, all redheads. Man, that guy's got a type. And I was like, Angela.
You know where that stash is now?
Yeah.
I'd like to see it.
I'd actually be interested if you are a listener of the show, or if you're watching this on YouTube, which we now are. I'd love to hear your opinion. So please put that in the comments or tweet at me, please. Moving on. There was a video I sent you guys. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it, from a pop culture critic named Captain Midnight. Love this guy. If you get a chance to check out his YouTube stuff, he does a lot of stuff about sitcoms. A lot of overlap with what we do. And he brought up an interesting conversation that Charlie Day had about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That back in, I think it was 2009, which is late, they switched from a 4:3 to 16:9. Basically, the square switched to the rectangle and went to HD. And Charlie Day fought against that forever. And his whole point of view was that sitcoms were better when it was a square box with less attractive, video. That sitcoms were designed for small screens, and it works better in a small screen format. And I didn't know if you guys had a chance to see the video, and if you did, what your thoughts were on it. Rhea, did you get a chance to check it out?
I think I'm an expert because
You are.
I binged the entire 15 seasons.
Yes, of Always Sunny, yeah.
And Charlie Day should stick to his all the slapstick he does. He's terrific at that role. He's a moron if he thinks people would rather see a blurry, not distinct picture like we get now. Is it art? Is he trying
That's what he's trying to do, Ange. It's art.
Yeah.
No, people want to watch a good screen. If I can get a beautiful screen on my little tiny iPhone, like I'm looking at you guys now, that's what I want to watch.
But Rhea, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is art? You're saying this is art? It's a bunch of goofballs in a bar acting badly. That's not art. How does that look better when it's blurred?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't think anyone, unless you are like Martin Scorsese and you are trying to get a certain cinematographic effect, it never is better if you could see it less well. How did that? Why do you think Rhea and I are wearing glasses today, Jay? We are offering our anger at the idea that it's bad. It's good to see blurry.
Yeah.
If I can just say from my own experience, I just got off a film shoot for a movie that doesn't have a release date yet, and the director kept coming up to me as the writer and producer and said, "So what do you think we should do here?" And I said, "It's a Lifetime movie. I don't care." Can
I get a job writing? Can I get a job writing for your Lifetime movies? Because I have like all these ideas, and you care so little. I want to do this for a living.
I would be happy to work with you, Rhea. We could do a script together. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
A job. I'm the one that's going to be unemployed.
Well, Angela, you could be our proofreader. Well, me and
there you go.
Send it over. You can copy editing. I will say one thing that I did agree with in the Captain Midnight video, and yes, I do think you're right. The old sitcoms were not designed for the square box, the square for the rectangle. They were for the square. The new ones are, and I think it's fine. I do think it's wrong when like Netflix takes Seinfeld and blows it up to the full screen size when it was originally shot in the box. I want to see it how it was originally shot, how it was meant to see, because a lot of times that just looks bad when they focus in without any artistry to it. Yes, it's a sitcom, but I want to see how the director wanted to put it together, and that's what I want out of it. So I agree with half of it.
And just so you know, Ange, Jay did actually send me a script of one of his movies and asked me to read it, and I did give him a little insight on women. I said no woman would get out of bed after sex in the middle of the night and drive somewhere to a company. So I said that doesn't fit. So I did offer my opinion.
You should be using Rhea for that stuff. This is the way I got through 30 years in radio. I just that's the right thing. She usually knows.
I asked my wife about that, and it was 5 years since she's been after sex. So she was like, I can't remember, what did we used to do after sex? I can't remember. So it's good. I need insight on stuff like that. All right, Rhea, speaking of your insight, what have you got for us? People have been, I think I sent you an email. We got a request.
You did. And so I watched it. So I want to thank the person who sent it to you. Midsummer Murders. It is it's available on Prime, Acorn. It's 23 seasons. So I could not actually watch every one. It's one of the most popular murder mysteries in all of Britain. It's kind of like Law and Order here in the States, where it's been on forever. People love it. Stars kind of guest on it like early on in their career, and then you're going, oh my God, I remember I watched that person on an episode of Midsummer Murders. What's interesting about Midsummer Murders is every episode is a self-contained mystery. So it's not, one that goes a whole season doesn't go over the same murder. And it's in a wealthy villages around there. Everything what you expect British to be. Wealthy, snobby, absolutely gorgeous location. The gardens, the thatched cottages, the rolling hills. I would want to move there, except for the fact that people get murdered there relentlessly. But they get murdered in an inch. Here's what's cool about it. There's no serial murders in this. They've got some humor, a little darkness, but these are people who are head of the book club getting killed, the dance club there, the owner of a brewery, and they get killed. They're killed by normal people who get really pissed off at them and kill them with deviled eggs, a giant cheese wheel. Somebody smears truffle oil on a boar to lure someone in to kill someone. And it's always normal people. And I will say what is fun about it, you cannot figure out who the murderer is in the beginning of the show. They drop so many herrings. I'm like, oh, that guy's totally murdered. Totally. And I will say, I never know who the murderer is till the end. I've watched like 5 episodes of it. But I mean, if you really want to know what the British countryside looks like and why people love it and why I loved it when I lived there, you watch this show because the scenery is gorgeous. Like I said, 23 seasons. John Nettles was the first Detective Barnaby. He did it till 2011 and was replaced by John Dudgeon. And I like all the characters in it. Like I said, it's fun, it's breezy, and people get killed that are just like totally odd people. But I mean normal. So there's no serial murders, no nothing, and all self-contained episodes.
So it's sort of like a procedural is what we would call it here in America.
It's a strict procedural, extremely well acted. The people in it are very good, and they're the people who get killed are usually wealthy snobs, so you're kind of okay with it. They're like, yeah, we didn't need that guy. And there's 23 episodes. Here's the funny thing: one of the detectives, his wife, don't ever let her join your club, book club, cooking club, anything. When she joins a club, someone's going to get murdered in it. So just a little tip there for those of you who are watching.
I like it.
And send me your ideas. I love getting stuff to give me to watch. It's great.
Yeah, please put if you're watching this on YouTube, please put it in the comments, and if not, feel free to shoot me a tweet, and feel free to insult me in the tweet. That's okay. I'm in any.
You're not getting mine.
Yeah. And did you have a teen selection for us this week?
I do. Now, this was written by Clark, because I know that, we've been a little bit busy here. We've had the football playoffs. Clark had to study for an entrance exam to Roman, and it looks like that's where he's going, Roman Catholic. So he's been busy studying. Yay! So Angelo, you're wearing their colors, so it's very good. But so I asked him, I said, have you had a chance to watch something that you want to give me for the show? So he gave me Velma. And Angelo, this is what I know you will love about it. He completely trashed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, he said, so he gave it a 1.3 out of 5 stars. It's on HBOMAX. So I go 1.3. I don't know how you came up with that number, but it's a very precise. It's a cartoon reimagining of, the Scooby-Doo character Velma. And it's like how she wound up eventually getting to Scooby-Doo. But here's what really, I've been watching Scooby-Doo since I was a child. Clark and I've watched it together. I always loved Scooby-Doo. There's no Scooby in it. How you could do a reimagining of, a cartoon character that involves Scooby-Doo and he's not in it. So it's just Velma. She's, solving crimes. He wrote in here, Fred is in it. Fred goes to jail and he's a total baby. He can't do anything by himself. So Clark doesn't like him. Shaggy is in it. But Shaggy doesn't go by Shaggy anymore.
Oh.
He would like to go by his real name, which is Norval. And he considers himself a foodie. He doesn't shove food in his mouth, and he's trying to be a therapist. So Clark absolutely hated it because, like me, he loves Scooby-Doo. And he said, how could you do something, a reboot of something, and you don't include the best character?
Unbelievable. Yeah, like Clark's got to be a regular part of this. Yeah. Like us, Rhea.
I know.
Happy to rip stuff.
Exactly. I was very proud, I have to say.
Taking Scooby-Doo out of Scooby-Doo is like, General Mills taking a look at Cap'n Crunch and going, you know what? Let's get rid of the marshmallows. I think that's really upsetting the kids. Too much sweet, sugary goodness. Let's just make it regular cereal. You know what's most shocking about that, guys? The creator is Mindy Kaling, who we all love.
Really?
Yeah, Mindy Kaling. This was part of her overall deal that she signed with Warner Brothers. She conceived of this from the ground up and tried to make it she's voicing Velma. She's not writing the episodes, but she's the producer of the show. And
well, Jay, that's kind of her, her thing is, she's always played kind of like the nerdy girl, right? I mean, isn't that what it, so I get where she thought Velma would work for her, but not, things are always better when you include the dog.
Right.
In anything you do. So, yeah.
And some of the stuff that they're trying to do on the show that, is not shocking, but maybe a little bit more adult. Like she's a lesbian in this show, but she was a lesbian in the previous incarnation. So like they when they drop that and they go, oh, like she's a lesbian, everybody's kind of like, yeah, no, we know. Yeah, we knew that in the 60s.
Yes.
We didn't have the word for it, but we knew, hey, if we're gonna hit on one of them, probably Daphne is the way to go.
Don't ask, don't tell. That was kind of what we were trained on, right?
Right. So we knew that two things that we knew for sure. Scooby and Shaggy were high, and that Velma was lesbian. Those are the only two things we knew growing up. We didn't know how to articulate it. We just knew. All right. So Velma, that's a 1.3 out of 5. I think Clark come on to explain his grading system, which
I'll have to get him to write it down.
And let's finish up with Angelo. Angelo, what do you got? What did you watch in the last week or two that we can chat about?
You should understand, Jay, that these are hectic times. Number one, we've got all the football going on in our crazed football city. And these are my final days of a 33-year tenure in radio. And yet I had time to see tons of television. I didn't realize how vacant my private life was until I realized I could recommend 8 or 10 things here since the last time we did this podcast.
Wow.
But I'll just give you a couple that I'll integrate the others into other shows we do. But and both of these have been panned by the people watching them. They're on Rotten Tomatoes, and they're both excellent. And I promise you, you will disagree with most of the people, even though both of them sound stupid. Number one is a documentary. It's a little over an hour. It's not long. Called The Hatchet Wielding Hitchhiker. It's on Netflix. It is phenomenal.
Okay.
It's a modern story. It's about a guy named Kai. His actual name is Kai. And he apparently saves someone's life. And he becomes an internet sensation. And people have made him their hero. And he's the toast. There's only one problem. A is he's a psycho. And B is he's also dangerous.
Okay.
And he gets implicated in a major crime after his sensation hits. And the guy is so wacky and crazy. And they packed all this in real tight. They have all the video of when he was the hero on TV and all this, and then how everything crashed and burned.
Wow.
It's fantastic. And the whole thing was he became a hero because he happened to be carrying a hatchet and he saved someone's life with it. But
well, you know.
And they made him into a hero. We deal with this all the time in sports where even when the guy's really kind of a jerk, they make him a big hero. That's what this was, but with spectacularly negative consequences. You know, I'll tell you
You're very dark, Angelo.
It's not a happy ending at all.
I didn't expect it would be.
Here's the thing: it got a 91 by the critics,
wow,
and a 42 by the people who watched it. And I can't believe that because it's great. And if you're looking for a movie, now here's the way I do movies now, and this is creepy, but I got to be honest. If I really start enjoying the work of an attractive woman, I tend to try to burn through her catalog. You know, I don't even remember when I first saw Eva Green. She's multi. You know her?
Oh, do I know her?
She speaks fluent French, and this is a multilingual movie called Proxima. It came out a couple of years ago. It's on Hulu now, and it's a woman. Rhea, again, I think you would love this. It's about a woman who was an astronaut. And got this little girl that she's got, you know, it's her daughter.
Yeah.
And her marriage is broken up, and she has all these demands on her time as an astronaut, and she sees her daughter slipping away. And it's a relationship just before she goes up on a flight that's going to take her to Mars and be away from home a year.
Wow.
Phenomenal. No, it's so well done. And this Eva Green, can I be honest, she's not bad to look at for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And that's why I started watching it, Jay. But it's Proxima. Again, the critics didn't like it. The people didn't like it. The critics did. It's good. You will be entertained throughout.
I will definitely check that out. I don't know if you ever saw 2003, The Dreamers, which was the introduction of Eva Green.
Was in that.
Yeah, that was her introduction to the world. It's a French movie, and it's basically like it's her and 2 guys, and it's 90 minutes of who is she having sex with at some point during the movie. That's basically.
Oh my God, Angelo, we've lost him now. He's going to go run and watch it.
It's almost done because I got a free afternoon.
It is nothing but sex
right now. Jay, before we leave, let me go through what we've been talking about today. Night Court's on Peacock, 90s Show on Netflix, Midsummer Murders on Amazon Prime, Always Sunny if you want to, you know, see how it's when it was fuzzy and when it was clear. That's on Hulu. Velma's on HBOMAX. Rip It Like Little Clark. Hatchet Wielding Hitchhikers on Netflix. Proxima on Hulu.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much. I'm so happy that we're back, and let's see each other next week.